Good afternoon. My name is Jeannie Sweeney. I'm the founder and the CEO of the Above Board Chamber, and I am so excited today for today's webinar. We are going to learn about wellness, which is so important. There's so many different things we need to learn, and there's so many people that are teaching wellness, and we don't know which person we should listen to or which facility we should get involved in, but we need to get good information, and it's really important to us at the Above Board Chamber that we bring that information to you, because we are blessed to have some wonderful people in our chamber that are doing some great things. The Above Board Chamber is excited that we're in our 10th year, starting our 10th year for the Above Board Chamber. What we do is panels of experts each month that teach business topics. So since the pandemic started, we've been doing a couple of months because we want to make sure you get the information, that you get things so we can keep your business going, because that's important to all of us. We have a lot of things we do for our members. For instance, they can put press releases up for free on our website. They can put blogs up. We want to know about your upcoming events. That is totally free. So we have a lot of things going on, but enough of the Above Board Chamber. Let me introduce you to our sponsor, Scott Lehman. He is an amazing man. He has an amazing company called TJS Janitorial Service, formerly Trinity Services. Scott, you want to tell us a little bit about what you do, and thank you for being our sponsor today.
Absolutely, and thank you for letting me be a sponsor today. My name's Scott Lehman. I'm the owner of TJS Janitorial and Floor Care. We've got over 20 years experience in the janitorial services area, floor care services, and facility maintenance. Our janitorial services, we offer pretty much your standard services. We have day porter services, which is a dedicated person on your site. We offer day and night cleaning 7 days a week. All of our cleanings are done to CDC sanitization guidelines. We strictly adhere to that. All of our products are natural, 100%. They're all EPA approved to disinfect for, they claim, 99.99% of viruses and germs, including COVID. We use two primary products for our spray services and our multi-surface cleaners, and that's Decon 30 and BioEsk. They are essential oil based. The only real difference in the two is one has a 4-minute kill time, one has a 10-minute kill time when you spray them. Otherwise, it's the scent. They have the same active ingredient. We offer it because people like different scents. Our floor products is called DMQ. It is also all natural and EPA approved to disinfect for basically everything. One area that I believe we stand out in is that we have a quality assurance program, and that starts in the very beginning. We sit down with a new client. We develop a cleaning plan that is unique to their facility. We agree on it with them. It is signed, and that way everyone knows expectations up front. And if anything needs to be adjusted, we adjust it as we go. Also, every account has an account supervisor dedicated to that account. So your account supervisor is in touch with you all the time. They're also in touch with the cleaning crews. So if there are any issues, they are addressed immediately. One of the other services we offer is electrostatic spraying. We do offer that within the janitorial realm, but we also do it as a one-time need, or as needed, I should say. Electrostatic spraying is another form of sanitizing. All of our cleans do sanitize because of the products, but the most effective way to sanitize your facility is through electrostatic spraying. It's the science behind it has to do with changing the ions, the positive and negative ions in the product, and it actually attaches the product to the virus on surfaces and in air. And again, we use Decon 30 or BioEsk, the same products we clean the offices with. Now, why is it most effective? One reason is what I just mentioned, and is put out through a mist or a fog. It is applied that way because the most effective way to sanitize is when you let the product dry naturally. It works so much better than if you take a rag and wipe a surface, you spray it, it takes 15 minutes roughly to dry, and it's clean. Both these products dry residue free, and that's huge simply because you have to clean before you use them. But for other products that don't dry residue free, now they're coming back in on day 2 to wipe the facility down again. Higher cost, and you're out of your facility for about 2 days. With our products, you're out for as long as it takes us to spray, dries in 15 minutes, you can go right back in. It's non-hazardous, no chemicals. Our floor care services, we strip and wax VCT tile. We do tile and grout cleaning and sealing if sealing is required. We do carpets. We handle marble care, so marble floors for keeping them nice and shiny, and burnishing, which is basically just buffing out floors. Then the other thing we do offer is general maintenance. The day porters, if needed, we can have a day porter who is trained in facility maintenance, so they can handle little repairs, handyman type stuff, pressure washing, on a not major building pressure washing, but flat surfaces, stuff like that. So we do offer facility maintenance. Again, Jeannie, thank you for the opportunity to be a sponsor, and I'm looking forward to hearing from the panelists today.
Great, Scott. Thank you so much for that information. It's so timely what's going on in our country right now and actually around the world, and we need good products. So thank you again for being our sponsor. One of the things we do at the Above Board Chamber, and one of our favorite things to do, is to acknowledge our nonprofits. And we have not done it on our webinars. We do it on when we're meet each other live. We meet Lee and Cuyahoga County. For people that don't know, we meet once a month when it's healthy. Right now we're doing the webinars, but we want to make sure we don't forget our nonprofits. So at this meeting, we're going to introduce you to Kelly Palmer. She is in charge. She's the big girl in charge of Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and she's a regional director of Big Brothers and Big Sisters. And I am blessed to be on her board of directors. So Kelly, you got a minute or so, tell us a little bit about Big Brothers and Big Sisters and the great things that you're doing in our communities.
I absolutely do. Thank you so much, Jeannie, for your service and for inviting me to speak to everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and to talk about such a timely topic. Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Sun Coast is an affiliate of Big Brothers Big Sisters of America, which is the longest standing evidence-based mentoring organization in the nation. Many people have heard of us, but for those of us who have not, we have been around a very long time. And what does that mean? That means that we have evidence-based research, and we've developed best practices through evaluating this over many years to come up with a proven model. And so and I'll say that we're in 10 counties, including Lee and Collier. And what does that look like? Basically, it's adult volunteer mentors, adults out in the community like all of yourselves who have some time to give, 4 to 6 hours per month. It's not overtaxing, to share and give guidance and input to children in our community, and oftentimes children facing adversity. Now, not all of the children that we work with are in certain situations, but the majority of them are in single family or single guardian households and at or below the poverty level. And so the parents, and especially in these times, often don't have the bandwidth to expose those children to ideas, thoughts, opportunities, different parts of what's out there in the world that they can avail themselves of. And, one of our taglines is empowering potential. And that's what we do. I think any one of us can hopefully think of somebody when we were younger, whether it was a parent, an aunt, an uncle, a family friend, that we had show us the way. And a lot of times these children, through no control of their own or even faults of their parents or guardians, find themselves in a situation where they just don't have that access or outlet. And we're finding now during these times more than ever that what these adult volunteer mentors do for these children is just simply invaluable. The isolation that has occurred and the anxiety and uncertainty. We have degreed mentor managers who match the adult volunteer mentors with the children through proximity, interest area, personality, and we pivoted. We went online, we went virtual like everyone else, and we've been doing these match meetings through video conferencing and phone, and supporting our volunteers as to how to do that. And our degreed mentor managers have worked with a web of agencies to provide additional support to people, whether it's food, clothing, getting them a computer so they could do virtual mentoring, or getting them internet connection. And And so I've witnessed incredible, heart-touching stories throughout this, and we're going to continue to do it in the new normal. And so I would urge any of you to either contact me. I think our information is shared somewhere, Jeannie, right?
It is.
Or they can go to, it's 3Bs, BBBSSUN.org, and or call me, because we're interested to work with individuals and companies, because we have a Beyond School Walls program where we bring kids to you right in your businesses. And I know we can't do that now, but we're working on virtual setups for that as well.
Kelly, you are doing a great job, and we want to
you.
thank you for being our featured nonprofit today. And we want to thank you for what you're doing, because our children are our future. So thank you again for being part of this. And we're going to start our program now, and we're going to start questions, which I'm very, very excited about. What we do is we have questions that we will be asking our panelists, and they're all going to come popping up right now. We're very excited. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to have them introduce themselves, and we're going to learn a little bit about them, and then we're going to start our questions. So our people that are in our gallery, just know that there is a part down the bottom that says Q&A. So if you see the Q&A and why our panelists are speaking, and you would like to ask a question, or have me ask a question rather, just put your question in there, and when we have a minute, we will try to get to all those questions, because we think it's really important. Another thing to make sure everybody knows, when this is over, which is really good, because sometimes you're on a webinar and you have to go to the bathroom, or you want to get a drink and you're scared you're going to miss something. At the end of the program, when this is completed, Zoom will give us a copy, and I will be sending everybody a copy of this so you can watch it again. So in case you thought you missed something, you will have that. So we're really excited. Sharon, how are you today, Sharon?
I'm great. Thank you so much.
Sharon, your organization is doing some amazing things, and we are so excited you're part of the Above Board Chamber. You want to tell us a little bio about yourself before we get going on our questions?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you, Scott, for sponsoring this event today. I'm Sharon Bruno. I'm a registered nurse and vice president here at Longevity Solutions. I did more than 20 years of reactive care. So pretty much you break and we try to fix you. That's what I used to do. So my passion now is proactive, preventative approach to health and wellness. So it's that's pretty much I'm doing now. And let me tell you, yes, we were able to get a lot of patients probably on their feet and go back home. But what I'm doing now is much more rewarding for me, because trying to prevent that sick care or being in a hospital bed is so much more rewarding than trying to fix them. So
well, we are excited to have you on the panel. Thanks for a short little bio of yourself. I'm going to ask Peggy now, a short little bio of yourself to say hello to everybody before we start with the questions.
Jeannie, first of all, thank you for bringing wellness to the forefront as you are today, and I'm so happy to be on here with Deb and with Sharon. So I'm Peggy Sealfun. I'm founder of the Paradise Coast Wellness Alliance, which we'll talk about a little bit, and founder of Be Well in Paradise, which we're about to be nonprofit, the hub for health and wellness. I am a personal development coach trained in Eastern and Western traditions, and I help individuals and businesses deal with all sorts of challenges, from stress to anxiety, and just help people live their lives better. And I am passionate about wellness. So thank you for the opportunity to be able to really be here and strut our stuff. Thanks, Jeannie.
We are excited to have you, Peggy. We're also excited to have you as a member of the Above Board Chamber. And Deb, tell us about Blue Zone, a short little thing about Blue Zone. We are excited to have Blue Zone as part of this program as well.
Thank you, Jeannie, and I'm really excited to be here with y'all as well. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. I'm honored to be executive director of Blue Zones Project Southwest Florida, and I work with a team of 8 talented individuals, hundreds of volunteers, and many, many partners. So looking forward to sharing more about what we do in a minute.
Well, we're excited. So we're going to start with you for the first question, because it goes right into sharing what you do. So we're excited. Just to let everybody know about Blue Zone, the Above Board Chamber has just became, is it Blue Zone Project? Are we part of the project? Is that the right terminology?
Participating organization, perfect. Recognize.
So I think we just passed all the tests, so we are like so excited. So we want everybody to know at the end of this program, if you're a part of the Above Board Chamber's email list, which is a lot of people, we are going to be sending information out that you too can join this organization. So we're really excited about it. And if you are not, get a hold of me after the webinar and let me know you want to be part of it so we can make sure you get that letter to learn more about the Blue Zone. Deb, your first question will be, for those who don't know, what is Blue Zone?
Yeah, great question, and a lot to share, so I will be concise. We're a community-led well-being initiative to help people live longer, healthier, happier lives. And we do this by engaging individuals, organizations, and policy leaders to help make healthy choices easier in Southwest Florida. So where we work, we play, and we live. So we work with HOAs, work sites, faith-based organizations, restaurants, grocery stores, clubs, civic associations, etc., to help build their infrastructure and the environment to support well-being for their members, their employees, their students, customers, and other. We're 100% funded by NCH Healthcare System, our generous sponsor. Work in Collier County, Bonita, and Estero. That's our contracted area for our sponsor. That means our team of consultants and all of our resources are free to any individual or organization that might want to utilize those services within our project area. Everything we do is evidence-based, so when we work with an organization, we provide them with a booklet of best practices to support well-being in their environment. An organization that chooses they want to, they get to choose what they want to implement, so it's based on their decisions, their culture, the environment where they are. We have a team that helps them walk through how to do this and how to implement the best practices. And then that team member also supports them as they continue on the journey. They may become recognized, but they want to stay healthy after that recognition. So we really are a we project. We have over 700 organizations that are engaged in the project at this point. And thanks to that extensive collaboration, we have gone from being 73rd in the nation for well-being, this community, to the healthiest community 4 years running. And what that really shows is that when we all come together on a common mission to help people live healthier and happier, we really can make a difference. It does take the WE or the we to make it happen. So in a nutshell, that's
Wow, I think that's amazing, and we're excited because we are becoming a Blue Zone recognized organization, but we need members to participate to get our checklist. We have a checklist from your organization, and we have done a lot, and thank goodness for Miss Sue Huff, who helped me complete probably 90% of it, so we are excited. But now I'm going to jump over to Sharon. Sharon, your organization, you basically started with some people? So you want to tell us a little bit about, because I've been to some of your seminars and there are amazing things that you are doing in the Naples area. So would you like to share with us a little bit about why do you call traditional medical care sick care?
Yes, well, unfortunately, our current healthcare system is reactive and episodic. So we wait until we break, like I mentioned. So the moment that we have symptoms or we feel something, it's too late. So that is the reason why I call it sick care. So, and the other thing is we spend about 3% of our healthcare dollars in prevention. The rest is sick care. So pretty much you feel something, right? So for over 20 years of reactive sick care, the traditional healthcare, taking care of patients in the hospital, I am now an advocate of proactive preventative healthcare. So I thought when I was in bedside nursing, I was like, there has to be a better way. It can't be like this all the time. So treating symptomatic people, it's almost all the time, it's later stages, right? And later stage, like stage 3, stage 4, or they already have a heart attack, all that stuff that's going on. But we all know it doesn't happen overnight, right? So that's why in the longevity assessments that we do, it's cutting edge, the technology that we use. We have detected about 14% of our clients, we have detected early stages, or stage 0, stage 1, that normally does not really happen, right? It's always late. So we have to remember that the early findings, early treatment, you have a better outcome. So, and then when that all happens, we continue with their health wellness journey with our wellness center. So if they're local, and even if they're not local, because 80% of our clients are from all over the country and the world, pre-COVID-19, obviously, we have a lot more local clients that are knowing more and more about us, and finally, like, you know, making an inquiry, because it's right in your backyard, right here in Southwest Florida, and people don't even know. So I do attend a lot of these webinars and do presentations at our facilities to let people know and answer all their questions. So, yeah.
Well, I think it's really important that people know this stuff ahead of time, because all of a sudden you hear about somebody, they're perfectly healthy, and the next day they're in the hospital and they're really sick, and they have this underlying condition that was never really checked by their regular physician, because they didn't even know to look for it. So you're actually like the investigators of ourselves, which is
Exactly. Well,
really,
honestly, the moment that, I mean, we all think we're healthy until something happens, right?
absolutely.
Like a lot of people would tell me, oh, what happened to them? They run 5-10 miles a day. How did they have a heart attack or had a stroke, right? So that's why I'm so excited about what we do, because I never even knew it for over so many years of my healthcare experience and nursing school and all that, even the doctors that I know, right? So that's why this is just very exciting for me.
Well, I think it's very exciting for the whole community. And like I said, I've been to your seminars and you have phenomenal speakers and doctors, and it's just, it's amazing. So thank you for what you do as well. Peggy, how are you today?
I am wonderful. Thank you.
Peggy's extra smiling because she's actually on vacation right now. So that is not her couch and her picture in the background. So I guess,
No, it isn't.
I think you're up in the mountains somewhere. Is that correct?
I am, and I wish I could show you my view. I'm looking at the Appalachian Mountains right out my window here. So
Okay, now you're just showing off. So let's get to your questions. Since you are known as the wellness warrior and have championed our area participations in the global wellness movement, can you briefly tell us what it is and why it's important to our business community?
Well, it's absolutely essential, not only for our business community, but also for us individual. I think wellness has been used ad infinitum, and people are like, what the heck is wellness? What are we talking about? And it's really about feeling good. It's really about vitality. It's really about what Sharon's talked about, what Deb has already talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And globally, it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry. So economically, there's a huge impact. But more importantly, for us locally in Southwest Florida, we have formed the Paradise Coast Wellness Alliance, which brings leaders from all these different wellness spectrums, from Sharon, from Cutting Edge Technologies, from Blue Zones being part of it, from we have the most robust natural environment. So we have everyone from Big Cypress Preserve to Rookery Bay to Naples Botanical Garden. So there's a robust opportunity to be able to do what I'm doing now, which is take a break. We all need that. We need time to de-stress, and whether it's 5 minutes of walking on the beach or whether it's, taking a vacation, it's really important for more productivity. So we founded the BeWellInParadise.com, the hub for health and wellness, to make everything more accessible, to really collaborate and cooperate. And actually, we are unique in the world right now in Southwest Florida. There is no other place that we know of, and we work with world leaders that are doing what we are doing. So we are bringing all of our different wellness practitioners and services and businesses together to work together to not only help one another locally, but also for wellness tourism. So we're attracting people, hopefully as COVID dies down, nationally and internationally. And we're getting a lot of international attention. So it's a very exciting time to be in wellness. And of course, now more than ever, we need to pay attention to this. It's really not just a trend. It's really a lifestyle.
I absolutely love this concept, and I salute you for putting this together, because a lot of times in healthcare, like other businesses, everybody's doing their own thing and they're not collaborating together. So when you all work together, as well as the three of us are, along with other people in Southwest Florida, we're going to learn more. We're going to put our things together and work together, and that is amazing. And I think we're going to I can't wait to see what's going to come out of it in the future continuously from all these great minds and people that care. People, you know, it seems to me is that your organization puts health before money, which is really important because a lot of times organizations, it's money, 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 and people are afraid to join things. But when you put everybody together, it's on a playing field where they're working together and they're going to be doing great things together. So thank you for doing that. We're very, very excited and we look forward in the future learning more. So we are going to go back to Deb. Deb, I want to know why Blue Zone was started. Where do you get your information? Who do you study?
Okay, great. Actually, it's all very much research based. There's a gentleman by the name of Dan Buettner, and he traveled with a dozen other longevity experts around the world. And they found places where people were living longer, healthier, happier. And they had a map, and someone had a blue magic marker, circled those regions, and hence it became
Blue Zone.
Right. As simple as that. But it was all based on research. So these places, these hotspots in the world where people have historically lived longer, better are Okinawa, Japan, Loma Linda, California, Okinawa, I said Okinawa, sorry, Japan, Icaria, Greece, Costa Rica, the Nicoyan Peninsula of Costa Rica, and Sardinia, Italy. And they have commonalities. What they did is they researched to find out, well, why are they living longer, healthier, and happier? And they found they had in common something called the Power Nine. And those are things like they tend to move naturally without even thinking about it. They don't necessarily join gyms, although if we join gyms, that's fine. It's just a very small percentage of people actually join one and stick to it. They downshift. So they find ways to de-stress, which we know is especially critical right now because we've got extra stress coming at us from whether it's COVID and subliminal messaging just by having cable TV on, or we've had hurricanes very recently, the politics, you know, there's a lot, right? So they learn how to do these things. They appreciate friends at 5, or they call it wine at 5 sometimes, but it's just getting together and sort of downshifting with some friends over a meal. And maybe you have a glass of wine or a glass of tea, whatever it might be. Faith is really interesting. It's a commonality of people who live longer, better. And it's really, the research says that if you attend a faith-based organization 4 times a week, and that could be virtually right now, and it doesn't matter what faith it is, it can be non-traditional faith, in fact, but you can live 4 to 14 years longer just by practicing your faith. Plant slant is a big part of it. We know where people live longer, better throughout the world, have lower chronic disease, they eat more plants and less animal products than we do in the United States. So there's 9 of these. I won't go through them all because of time, but we share that. Everything we do in the project is based on that, but also based on research that's helped support those different ways of living, those principles to help us live longer, better.
That is amazing, you know, and to study these people. How many years have they been doing this?
Actually, since before 2010, because it was 2009 is when the first Blue Zones project was implemented in the United States. So they had been researching prior to that. National Geographic funded the research, and we actually implemented it, you know, took those best practices, learning what was done elsewhere. How would you implement it anywhere? And that's what we started doing in 2009. And now we're in 51 communities throughout the United States and Canada.
Well, I think it's very exciting. When I tell people about Blue Zone, I tell them how you study these people from all over the world. It's really important. You know, sometimes we go into our own little cocoon and we just go on life, but really we need to learn from each other and we can do better. So congratulations for doing that. And thank you for sharing that with us. Sharon, what is the impact of technology today on healthcare? Because there is so much coming up.
Yes. So our traditional healthcare, unfortunately, is not caught up with technology. So every 12 to 18 months, a new technology gets developed, right? But it takes about 17 plus years for the medical community to catch up on the technological innovations, right? So who has 17 years? So we have smartphones and homes, we have self-driving cars now, we have all of this technology, but we use a stethoscope to your heart and lungs to see what's going on. We use a reflex hammer. I mean, all of these tools were invented in the 1800s. That's about 200 plus years old, right? These are the tools that we use to measure our health. So healthcare is reactive, broken, and behind. So now that we finally have technology available to see what is going on inside our bodies, like all of this advanced technology that we could use nowadays, which a lot of people don't know about, it is all integrated from your comprehensive blood work, sequencing of your entire DNA, which is not just partial, like the commercial DNA sequencing that you could get out there. So this is the entire genome, pretty much, an advanced MRI of your full body and brain. So now we could really know the true status of your health. That's the important thing, the integration, pretty much.
So let me ask you, when somebody finds out that you exist and they go into your facility, what are the first things that you do?
So we do have a pre-consultation with them. Unfortunately, I have some inquiries or clients that wanted to get it done, but because you go through an MRI, there's contraindications with that. So that's why we do a pre-screening with them, a pre-consultation to make sure that they are qualified to be able to do this assessment with us. We don't do anything invasive. There's no needle. The only needle that you're gonna have is when we do a blood work. That pretty much, we don't give you any contrast materials. There's no harm because of the technology. So there's that algorithm, proprietary protocol that we use to that MRI. So people can't just walk into a radiology center and say, hey, I want you to do the same thing they're doing, because they can't. That's what makes us unique. So with that proprietary protocol that we're able to see, at the end of the assessment, we have about 10,000 images of data about you from full body and brain MRI. So that's amazing. And then there's a part that we do looking if there's any plaquing to the arteries that supply your heart that causes the heart attack. You'll be surprised how many people that we have found that they have blockages and their doctor said, oh, you're good to go because their cholesterol level is good every year. You're good to go. Well, how did that person have a heart attack in the first place? They were told by their physician they were okay, right? So those are the things that I'm finding, which like, I see, no, very excited about, because we prevent them from having that heart attack. We found brain aneurysms. We prevent them from having that stroke by finding those. And people would say, okay, well, they're very afraid. I was afraid when I went through myself, right? But finding it early, you could actually have the treatment early, right? And not when you rupture that brain aneurysm, because you will have a massive stroke or probably drop dead, depending on how bad it is or how massive the aneurysm is. But it's really life-changing. Saved a lot of people and it's a lot of lives and a lot of money.
But let me ask you a question. So when you do this and you find things, do you work with that person's doctor or do you take over?
Yes.
How does that dynamic work?
Oh, absolutely. So a lot of our clients, they already have their primary care physician or concierge physician. So all of this data and information, we give it to the client.
Okay, good.
Right? It's so they could control it, who gets their information, because it's obviously HIPAA, right? And it's all sensitive information. So we give it to them. It's up to them who they want to share it with. And if they want their physician during our results review with our physician, we could all collaborate. And if they don't have a physician and there's a finding, like we already have referred a lot of clients to some of the physicians in town, which we happen to know and we have a relationship with. So we refer those clients to them. So again, it's early findings. So they were able to do the follow-up. And a lot of them, because it's so early, it's being monitored.
Yeah.
It beats the stage 3, stage 4 cancer.
Well, what a great business that you have and what you're doing, and you're saving lives. Might not know it at the time, but you are down the road. So thank you for what you're doing. It's very, very exciting and interesting. Peggy, can you give us a glimpse of some of the unique resources that our members can take advantage of right now to improve their lives, both personally and improve their businesses?
Great question. You've already heard two amazing ones, Blue Zones, Longevity Solutions. What is so amazing and what really struck me and why we got involved in developing this whole Paradise Coast Wellness Alliance is that we have so much available to us in our community that are cutting edge, that are innovative. And a lot of people just are kind of going about their everyday lives. We get caught up in patterns and ways of just doing things. And especially now, there's a lot of uncertainties and fears. And if you look at statistics from the American Institute of Stress, 90% of visits to primary care physicians are for stress-related symptoms. Well, now we have alternatives. We have Blue Zones, and through our programs with Be Well in Paradise, we have so many businesses now that are coming to the forefront. We have places like Meant to Move, which teaches functional fitness. We have places like Brain Balance. We have places like Beautiful Health, where Caroline Thonin has created a whole environment of really healthy products. A store like this doesn't exist anywhere else, where you get items with non-toxic ingredients and services. I mean, it's just amazing opportunities. In addition to that, we have places like Tree of Light, which is a whole body rejuvenation using light therapies. We have energy therapies. We have all sorts of really new innovations that are available. And again, we've kind of created this hub where people can find out more about it and take advantage of it, and especially during some of our upcoming activities. So in September, we are all participating in World Wellness Weekend, which literally takes place all over the world, but it's September 19th and 20th. And Be Well in Paradise is actually collaborating with Spiritual Communities Network on Saturday to create a whole day of free education, a cooking class with a chef from Edgewater Beach Hotel, who's the Blue Zones. He'll be doing a Blue Zones meal, and learning about mindfulness, learning how to use essential oils, learning how to be more productive, how to be more mindful, how to be better. And so on Sunday, we have even more activities. And then in January, we do a major all over Southwest Florida activities, fun, really exciting, collaborative types of activities to promote health and wellness. This year, it'll be the 3rd annual Paradise Coast Wellness Experience, January 16th and 17th. We're not sure exactly how many indoor activities we have. We know we'll do a lot of outdoor activities, and it will take place all over the county. We have a fantastic kickoff event, an amazing closing event, and again, BeWellInParadise.com is the place that businesses, individuals, residents can find what's going on and jump on board to take advantage of some of these activities. And the other thing I want to mention is how important it is for any business that might be looking to add on wellness, or there's a component like Scott obviously is already in that space. Come be part of what we're doing so we can help promote you, and again, work together to create even more activities. And there's opportunities for any business to do something that addresses wellness for their business community, whether it's their staff or even clients. I could see a bank, for instance, doing once a week yoga or qigong for the staff and invite clients to come and be part of it. So there's lots of opportunities, and I'm so passionate about it that I'm more than willing to help any business that really has questions about, well, gee, what can I do? I'm happy to talk and just brainstorm ideas, because it's really, as Deb mentioned, when we work together on a common mission, we accomplish so much more. And this is about our lives. This is about our health and well-being. This is about our productivity. And yes, it's about income, but to me, that sort of comes when you're healthy and productive. You know, that just follows. And it allows us to navigate through these very difficult times more effortlessly, more seamlessly, without creating more illness. Because we, you know, if you're all worried and nervous, you tend to develop symptoms and your immune system gets compromised. So you're more susceptible to getting the dreaded virus, right? So really great that we have what we have in our area, our beaches, our natural environments. There's so much opportunity, and that's part of what we bring together. And so we're so excited to be able to have this in our community, and we encourage businesses, anyone on this Zoom, you know, come be part of it, come to our monthly alliance meetings, or jump in to really produce something that you can contribute and help lift up our community even more.
Well, I just love your enthusiasm and I love your passion because, you know, when we have passion for what we do, which the three of us have, is amazing because people want to be part of passion, especially when it's good passion. So tell us again how they can get involved. You said it starts next week, one of your programs. How do people that are
Actually,
listening right now?
September 19th and 20th, they can
Okay.
sign up for free for any of the programs. They can just go to bewellinparadise.com.
Okay.
There are links there, and if they want to get in touch with us through that as well, we are more than open and welcoming. And again, we want to be collaborative. Jeannie, I love what you do with the Above Board Chamber. We want to be like that for wellness, and that is what we're doing, and we're getting incredible traction. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to just reach more people.
Well, this is something, you know, we can put on 1 million webinars around the world, but health should be our number one thing that we're all learning about. And that's really, really important. So I'm just amazed and I'm excited. So we have this upcoming and they can get a hold of you. Do you have an email you want to share with anybody if they have any questions about this upcoming program you have?
Sure, they can just write us at team@bwipgroup.com, and that stands for bewellinparadisegroup.com.
Okay.
So team@bwipgroup.com, or I'm happy to give my phone number if that's
Go ahead.
appropriate. So 239-821-2266. Just
Say it
text
again.
me.
Say it again slow. Say it again slow.
I know I get so
I
enthused.
know.
I have to calm down. 239-821-2266.
Perfect. Perfect. Oh, I'm excited. I want to know more about that as well. So thank you, Peggy, for what you're doing. It's just amazing. And these things are so exciting that they're coming and there's something, it's something in there for everyone. Like you said, the bankers can come, businesses can come, and they can be part of this because we all need to be healthy and every business needs their employees healthy, which is really important. That's why they need to be part of the Blue Zone. You know, to all work together, we can all do this stuff and we can have our businesses up and going. So very, very excited. Speaking of Blue Zone, Ms. Deb, how is Blue Zone Project supporting well-being during this virus?
Yeah, gosh, you know, we've realized, all of us, I think collectively across the globe have realized that now more than ever, it's really important for individuals and businesses, if we want to survive and thrive, I mean, really thrive, that we take care of our well-being. Some of you may have heard there's a cardiologist by the name of Dr. Musafarian. He's actually the Dean of Nutrition Science and Policy at Tufts University. And he describes it really like this, that a significant contributing factor to our current disruption across the globe, especially in the United States, is really the fact that we've had a slow pandemic occurring over the last 30 to 40 years that's collided with a fast pandemic. The slow pandemic has been the acceleration of chronic diseases that actually are the #1 killer, you know, over tobacco across the country. And it's run into this fast pandemic, which is, you know, very serious virus, you know, novel virus, and the economic fallout as well as the health fallout has been significant. But he talks about how before the slow pandemic, most of us would have been metabolically fit enough to really survive better with COVID. We've had pandemics before. We'll have them again. We have all kinds of challenges, hurricanes, financial crises that affect us. But to be metabolically fit is really critical. So he talks about how important it is right now to build that resiliency and promote not only our physical well-being, but also our mental well-being. We know chronic diseases have accelerated, but so have mental health issues over time, loneliness, isolation. And we know that social and economic diversity has also impacted us and how well people and businesses survive and thrive. So Blue Zones Project offers tools to you, your family, your business, and others to become more resilient and survive and thrive through this pandemic and other challenges that may come our way. Specifically, we've created a virtual online Power 9, and you can go to that, and with our partners, we have basically all those Power 9s, moving naturally, etc., ways to do that from your own home. But we've also created some things that I think businesses will help businesses kind of get back, kind kind of thriving better. And that would be the purpose workshops. We offer those to anyone, but and it's a great way to kind of refigure out, redetermine your passion, your talents, what brings you joy in life. And we know that that COVID has taken away some of that. It's disrupted our what we find is our purpose sometimes. And so if you do that individually or you bring it to your workplace, even if you're still virtual, it's a great way to build team morale and kind of come around a common purpose together. We also recommend for morale, virtual moais. Moais are basically an Okinawan term for coming together to support one another. So they're virtual chat groups. And you can do that again with people you barely know and become better friends, or you can do them with your colleagues. A workplace could do that. And it's really just a great time to connect and build morale if it's a business. And then the final thing that is really brand new for us is something called the Real Age Assessment. And it's a tool, it's a health risk assessment that individuals but businesses can use. And you answer a series of questions and it tells you really kind of where you are functionally. We all know our chronological age, but this gives us more of a functional picture of where we're at. And if a business has more than 25 employees, we create a report. It's all free, an aggregate report that doesn't have any specific identifiers on it, personal identifiers, but it will give a company a snapshot of what's going on in their organization. For example, they may find that 25% of their employees have high blood sugar. They may find that 40% of their employees are suffering from some form of anxiety right now. And based on what they learn, we're able to help give them solutions or partner, connect them to the right solutions right now and in the present to solve that issue and build a stronger workplace, really a workplace that will better survive and thrive. So we're really excited about these tools. They're all free. And again, all we need people to do is just reach out and we'll help connect them to them.
That's amazing. Now the workshops, do you bring them to their businesses?
We can bring them in person and we can do them virtually. If somebody reaches out, we'll do it whichever way they prefer. We've got some businesses that are partial, employees in the business, back in their work site and some still at home. So we can do a hybrid model as well.
You have like a wealth of information that I was not even aware of. And it's amazing all the things that Blue Zone can offer us. So thank you so much for what you're doing because it's totally making a difference. Sharon, your next question is, but I have a question before that, but let me do the first one. One of the things Deb just mentioned, you work on, because if anybody follows Sharon on Facebook or LinkedIn and everything, one of the things they brag about a lot is they will find somebody that's like, oh my gosh, like 90 years old, and they will work with that person for so many months. And then it's like the things that they're doing for that individual. And then you'll hear like months later that their body now is operating like they're 60 or 50 years old. So what is that? What do we call that? The real age, right?
So it's actually their biological muscle age.
The muscle age. Okay.
Yeah. So they have they start with us with with an age of, let's say, 80 years old, right? After working out with us, following fitness and nutrition with us, we look at their muscle age after, let's say, a month. So the goal is to drop that muscle age. So, and not just the number, they actually feel great. Most of the time they would tell us, I was able to get off the floor easily now. I'm able to play with my daughter or my grandkids. And, that's just like, it's so amazing to hear all that because my aches and pain are gone. I actually have a couple that came back after, because, a lot of people don't want to go out anywhere. So they stopped coming to our center for, I would say, 2 months. He's told me 2 months. It's like, I will never do that again because his knee pain came back. Gone because of strength training. It went away because he was doing it for about 5 months working out with us. And then COVID-19 happened. They didn't come for 2 months. He came back and he was like, I will never stop. It doesn't matter what happened. I'm still going to continue with my workout. So now he's back to not having any pain on his knees because of strength training. But yes, we do that biological muscle age. We have a lot of 60-year-old, 65 years old that's under 21 right now on their muscle age.
Yeah.
After, I would say 6 months of
That's pretty amazing. And it just shows like exercise and eating the right food and
yes, ma'am.
hanging out with your friends and having some good faith, we can live a lot longer. But your question is, because I jumped on the other one because Deb woke up my brain there and I went, oh, she does that too. Here's one that a lot of people want to know, because in this question I'm going to ask you, a lot of people blame this.
Mm-hmm.
They blame this, and are your genes your destiny? And a lot of people will say, I'm this because of this. I remember somebody when I was much younger and they were a little bit overweight, and they kept saying, it was the funniest thing. They kept telling me they had big bones. Okay. This is many years ago. And I would be like, okay. And one day they joined like Weight Watchers and they lost all this weight. And I said, what happened to your bones? Did they shrink? It's like we find excuses with things. And this person had said they had big bones because their family did. Yeah. And it wasn't the bones that was making them overweight. And, but I always got a kick out of that. And they laughed. I said, so did you lose some of those bones? Like, you know, and it was actually funny. They thought it was funny, but they lost all that weight. And it's, yeah, we need to know about those genes and what's the truth behind the genes. Can we actually blame our ancestors?
Well, so that's a great question. So we were told in the past that our gene is destiny, right? Yeah. So now there are so many studies and data that's out there that prove that it's not. So I have same thing with you. I have a lot of people that tells me, you know, everyone in the family has diabetes, everyone in the family has heart disease. So I always ask them, so you're just going to sit around and wait for all those to happen to you as well?
Yeah.
It's always like that. It was like you said, they want to blame somebody or something, right? Why they are like this. So I kind of give them like facts, like 80%, like what Deb was saying, 80% of the chronic diseases like your high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, and even the cognitive decline can be prevented with proper lifestyle. So my dad had mini strokes and then died of a massive stroke when he was only 55 years old. So, but I also know my dad's lifestyle, right? So do I follow that? Of course not, right? So it's not in your genes, it's what you're doing. And here's another thing, even if you have the gene for Alzheimer's disease, which is called APOE gene, a lot of people probably heard about that APOE gene. If you have one copy of that gene, that's about 25%. 75% is what you're doing. And let me tell you, exercise is the best way to prevent cognitive decline. Mm-hmm. It activates this BDNF. It's called brain-derived neurotrophic factor. It's a protein in our brain, it's found in our brain, that you activate that when you're doing exercises.
Oh, okay.
So many studies about that. And I have seen firsthand our members that at the Wellness Center with mild cognitive decline, and they reversed it with proper fitness and nutrition. I've seen it like, we have quite a few members. They couldn't even follow the monitor that we have following the exercise. In the beginning, they couldn't follow it. After just a few weeks of doing it, they are like on point with all of that. Because they
Sharon, how do they measure that protein to know that it's getting better in the brain?
So you will just see the way the symptoms is kind of like reversing on you. Mm-hmm. But there's probably a blood work that goes with that as well. And also the MRI that we do, because it shows you if there's any brain atrophy in your brain. So that's one of the things that we look at. We look at the memory center of your brain and see what's happening there and what it's doing. So you'll be surprised. I have a husband and wife that came through here as well from West Palm Beach. They came in their 70s. They want to get a baseline of their health. When our physician did the results with them, the husband and wife both in there with the results. The doctor asked him, "Are you having some cognitive decline? Is there something going on?" And the wife said yes, because he won't admit to it, right? So the wife said, yes, he has. It's like, well, we found it on the brain picture, right? So the first thing the wife did after the call, which she mentioned to us because she called us back afterwards, she cleaned up the entire pantry because the husband eats crap every time.
Yeah.
So she cleaned up the entire pantry and put good food in there and good snacks, and they start exercising. And we follow up with our clients all the time, and they come every year for a follow-up assessment, and they're improving. So that proves, I mean, like I said, fitness and nutrition, you start with that, and we will be able to prevent all these chronic conditions that we are all afraid of.
So do you work with vitamins as well?
Oh gosh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And now the important vitamins, and our physicians always tell our clients and our members, vitamin D, zinc, and vitamin C are your important.
What was the last one?
Vitamin D, vitamin C, and zinc.
See, I didn't, okay.
Those are the
I
ones
take
that,
all three. I find that my brain works better on zinc. Is that crazy? Somebody told me if you start working better, it's the vitamin that was lacking in your body.
Yeah. And vitamin D, a lot of people, you'll be surprised how many people out there, because that's one thing that we measure, are low in vitamin D, and it helps with focusing. It helps with,
okay.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Very good. Very good. Peggy, I can't wait to hear what you're going to teach us now. Since you are an internationally known personal development coach, I like that. Can you share a simple wellness strategy or technique that someone can use starting today?
Absolutely. Which one do I pick from? There's so many.
You can
share
pick and you
one with
tell
you.
us.
It's kind of my secret sauce, and I'll tell you that I share this with many of my clients, and with one in particular, she was so stressed and fearful and full of anxiety that I asked her to practice this every single day and check it off on a calendar. And I was calling her this one particular day, and she shared with me the fact that she really didn't feel stressed. She was going to blow it off, but because I was going to be talking to her, she decided she'd better practice it. And she said, all of a sudden I feel so much better. I didn't realize how stressed I was. And that's the thing I really want to bring to your attention, because, you know, you are what you think. So your mind is far more powerful than you realize. And if you don't like who you are right now, change the way you're thinking. And it affects your epigenetics as well, the choices you make, how you feel in your body. And so there are very simple things that you can do to change that feeling. So in any given moment, if you're feeling stressed or anxious, I want you to do this. And it's very simple. You don't need any equipment. You can do this anywhere, anytime. All you do, take a nice full deep breath in through your nose, and as you exhale, blow the air out through gently pursed lips as if you're blowing through a straw. Make your exhalation a little bit longer than each inhalation. So you're breathing in, long, steady, slow, uniform, breathing out even slower. And you can do it for a minute, you can do it for 20 minutes. And there's a wonderful study that was done by Dr. Herbert Benson years ago at Harvard about activating the relaxation response. And I'll just bring it up because of what Sharon just talked about in terms of epigenetics. And he found that when he studied people who had never done any kind of breathing technique or relaxation technique, he tested them, found their basic, life signs and so forth, taught them a technique, asked them to practice it every day for 20 minutes for 8 weeks. They came back and they found that over 1,600 genes in their bodies were expressed more healthfully. Wow. So my point is, we need to take these little, I call them productivity pauses or timeouts, because when you're in fear and anxiety, you are tense and your body is not functioning properly. You're in fight or flight and you can't be creative, you can't be productive. And we are living through very fearful times. And so more than ever, we need to use this. So I also recommend to people that they just kind of put a couple of reminders on their phone every day, maybe once in the morning, once in the afternoon, to just take a pause and do this breathing technique. And you can do it anywhere. And it not only allows you to help activate the parasympathetic nervous system and calm the body, but you're oxygenating your cells. So you're now, any foods that you're eating, you're assimilating those foods better, you're digesting better, and your exercise is more productive, your muscles function better. So it is so important and so simple, which is why people don't do it. Oh, that sounds so silly. It's not. And so I encourage, don't take my word for it, try it for yourself and do it a few times a day and see how you feel. It's amazing.
I think that's a good idea. Do you have another tip for us?
Well, the other would really be to take advantage of our area, to, go out and take a walk on the beach. When COVID first hit and I felt somewhat quarantined, I was walking just in my neighborhood. It was a mile walk from my house to the end of my street. And I was taking photographs of all the blooming flowers and the trees and all these amazing patterns that I was seeing. I never would have seen that driving by my next meeting and my next appointment. And so sometimes just by taking time to garden in your backyard or just be outdoors in nature, nature is a stress reducer. And it really is a harmonizer and balancer. So a lot of what I teach is about being integrated, mind and body, so that all the channels and meridians in your body and mind open and you function more optimally. And it actually rejuvenates you. So you feel renewed and refreshed. It's a great way to reboot. So if you just want to go out and walk around the block, or if you want to go down to the beach, or if you want to go down and take a swamp walk at Big Cypress Preserve, these are all great things. And by the way, I did the swamp walk a few weeks ago.
I know.
And I've never done that in my life. It was the most almost spiritual experience, being out there, the sounds, the colors, being, knee high in water, sloshing through, but just being part of this incredible environment. And it's something that I would recommend doing with your teams, for business, for your staff, because you can certainly physically distance, it's all outdoors, and it's just a remarkable experience. So we have, again, in this area, so many options and so many possibilities of things that we can do to just refresh ourselves. And the hardest part is remembering to do it. And that's the thing is, make an appointment with yourself. Okay, for an hour, I'm going to do this, or for 10 minutes. You don't need a lot of time. You just, in fact, there's a wonderful book by Dr. Rick Hansen, on hardwiring happiness. And he talks about how it's important to just cultivate moments of these breaks, feeling good. And from a neuroscientist point of view, if you don't take a break every 90 minutes, if you're working on a project, by 91 minutes, you're not working very effectively. Yeah. So it's not like, oh, I don't have time to take a break. It's really more like, wait, I can't not take a break because I want to get this done better and perform better. So every 90 minutes, take a time out.
That's something that as a society, we should teach our children, because I remember when I was in elementary school, you had recess. I mean, in the middle of the morning, you had a recess. You stopped and you just, sometimes, sorry ladies, but we did have a snack. But you had recess and you stopped and I guess you talked to your friends, and sometimes if the weather was really nice, we went outside and we ran around for a little bit. And then we came back in and we were better at what we were going to do next, because our brains and our bodies and everything was ready. And I think and I'm type A, which everybody knows, and I have a tendency to keep going and going and going and not stopping. But it's important that we do that. We need to teach ourselves to put ourselves first so we can be better for the people that we want to help. And I think that's so important as a society. And maybe as friends with each other, we need to remind each other of that more often. As a matter of fact, myself and my good buddy who's on right now, Miss Sue Huff, we're going to the beach tomorrow. We haven't done that. We're going over to the sundial. Hopefully we have perfect weather, and we're going to take a break. If
we can just also interject, a lot of really successful CEOs now and major companies are actually instituting meditation rooms or timeout rooms where their staff can actually go and just kind of decompress for maybe 20, 30 minutes. And again, you're not taking time out from work. You're taking time to reboot so that you can actually work so much better and love it so much more. You're better with yourself.
It's interesting. My son works internationally. When he goes on vacation with his company, and he's in charge of lots of people. They are not allowed to contact him on vacation. He's not allowed to work, and he's high up, not allowed. And we don't do that as a society in the United States. He works for a Swedish company, but we don't do that in the United States. We keep working even on vacation. We have that cell phone right next to us, and we don't know how to shut it off. And that's where a lot of our stress comes from. You know, you'll see people that seem a lot more relaxed, and they don't bring their cell phone into a restaurant. You know, I got to train myself to do that too, but those things we don't shut off. We don't shut off. So with the breathing, taking time for ourselves, you know, learning more about health, these are all important factors that are going to help us live longer, which is really important. Deb, we sort of went over this a little bit. I told people about joining the Blue Zone and how they can, that the Above Board Chamber is going to be sending an email out. After this, I'm going to give my website to everybody and my email to everybody right now, because if they want to get that letter that introduces them, they will be able to get it before I send it out. So people that are listening right now, you could send it to my email. It's Jeannie, Jeanne, at aboveboardchamber.com. I think you can get on the list too at aboveboardchamber.com for my website, but that's the way I can help you through. Deb, do you want to explain a little bit more of how we get on and the process? Because it's it's a good process, and it's really like, we need to show you we mean business. So it's not hard. It takes a couple of minutes to put it together, but it's so professionally done. It's amazing. And like I said, thank goodness I had Sue Huff, so I might like have to hire her out to everybody else, because she's the guru over there on your board. But tell us what else we need to know about when somebody wants to be part and get involved in the Blue Zone project.
Great, great. Well, I appreciate very much that you're sending it out to the people on the call today, how they can get involved. That'll help a lot. But otherwise, if there's a couple ways. People can Google Blue Zones Project Southwest Florida, and they'll get to our website. There's a place they can sign up, start to get our activities, e-blast, all the virtual opportunities, plus the in-person opportunities, cooking demos, everything that we do. They'll also have an opportunity to sign up their organization. And that's if they want their workplace or their homeowners association, their faith-based organization, etc., favorite restaurant, any of those organizations can get on board. And once they have registered, it actually alerts one of my colleagues on the team to reach out to that business, or that it's a business. Usually that gets, if you register as an individual, you start getting our information, our newsletter, etc. But if you're an organization, you'll get contact from a colleague, and then they'll show the appropriate checklist for your type of organization and kind of go over, this is what you do next. And they're there to hold your hand if you want it, or if you just want to work on it and come back, ask questions, they're your point person. We try to make it easy, but we know that sometimes when people are navigating websites or going on Facebook and looking for things, there's a lot of information today, so it's a bit confusing. So they can always, just call us directly or email us, and we're happy to connect the dots for anyone.
Well, that's really important, and we're excited. And like I said, we will be sending it out after this webinar. So if people want to participate, they can get through that avenue as well. I have a question, Sharon. I'm going to ask you: how can a person start their wellness journey? It seems most of us start, but we get overwhelmed or busy. What are some of the tips living a healthy, happy life?
Well,
I'm going to ask each one of you ladies this question. So listen up.
So I actually wasn't as health conscious as I was, and believe it or not, being a nurse, I don't know a lot of nutrition information. Again, believe it or not, as a nurse, because that was not taught in nursing school or even in the hospital. It's not something like, we follow or anything like that. So from learning from my nutritionist all this information, here's one thing that I will never forget. So I used to, before our wellness center, I used to drink all this coffee, bottled coffee drinks, right? I just grab that, so easy, right? You drink it, good to go. What she told me when I first met her, you know that 1 gram of sugar, no, 4 grams of sugar is 1 teaspoon of sugar. So I look at that coffee drink, it's 40 plus grams of sugar. So
Whoa.
that's 10 teaspoons of sugar. I never knew that for so long. So I stopped drinking
Wait a
those.
minute, 1 gram,
4
4
grams,
grams equal 1 teaspoon.
1 teaspoon of sugar.
Okay, we all gotta write that down.
It's amazing. So you look at everything that you drink right now and look at the sugar content, and you'll be amazed how much sugar you're ingesting in 1 cup.
That is amazing. Sharon, you have a question up here by somebody, and it says, they made you a doctor, by the way, so.
I know, I see that. I'm a nurse.
Brian, she's an RN with a whole bunch of initials next to it, but she pretty much could be a doctor. His question is, would you recommend a consultation with someone wondering about their artery condition, or to visit a cardiologist first?
So it depends on what kind of artery condition we're talking about. So
Okay.
that's the one thing about this process. It's integrated. So not just looking at one thing, not just looking at a blood work, we're looking at everything. That's how we find it. So, and then here's the other thing. I think, you and I, Ginny, were talking about this earlier. It is okay. We have like a couple questions that we tell people that inquired about us, because they said, okay, well, my physician would, agree with this. It's like, it's okay to ask your physician about us. 2 questions we want you to ask them. Do they know anything about whole genome sequencing? And do they know anything about advanced MRI? All of that, if they know the answer to those questions, that means your physician is up to the technology, like they know about it, right? So, which is great, that's wonderful. But if they don't know the answer to it, we'll be happy to talk to them, not a problem at all. But most of the time, they will dismiss what we do. It was like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. You're just going to find something. It's like, I don't know, I'm like confused what that means, but that's pretty much kind of like what we've been getting. So, again, it's pretty much, if they don't know, we can't really, they cannot answer those questions for you. But yes, it all depends on what's happening. That's why we do this pre-consultation prior to anything, so we could discuss. So you could discuss with us your health history and what you're wanting to accomplish. But the main thing of this is people come in here to see how healthy they are. To see if they're, if they actually have a clean bill of health, or there's something going on that they don't have any symptoms of, right? So those are the things. And every single person, everybody walked in here afraid, obviously, to have this done. But once we give them the results, a lot of them actually have a clean bill of health, which now they don't have to worry about traveling. Now they don't have to worry about a lot of other things. That's one thing that they checked off. Okay, I'm good. I could actually travel without worrying. And that's, to me, that's priceless.
That it certainly is, because there's nothing more important is your body, because you need to do it to enjoy life. You need to be healthy. So Peggy, I'm going to ask you the same question. How can a person start their wellness journey? It seems most of us start, but we are overwhelmed or busy. What are some of the tips for living a healthy, happy life?
It's a great question. And what I would recommend is start with just one step. So identify a part of your life that feels out of balance. It may be diet. Maybe you're feeling overweight, or maybe you're just feeling weak and out of shape, or maybe you're just not getting enough sleep and you're feeling tired and fatigued all the time. So just look at one part to start with, and then make one small change. So for instance, if you're looking to get better foods, maybe you just add a colorful diet to a meal once a week or twice a week, or start increasing that. I wasn't planning to promote my website, but I have a lot of free programs on it that could really be helpful for people. I teach a yoga nidra program, which is extraordinary. It's total relaxation. And I have a food strategy program. It's a 7-day food strategy to really get you off sugar, to teach you better way of eating, because it is hard to do it on your own. We're so locked into our habits, and it's so helpful to just have a different approach that we can be guided in. And also I have a lot of just wonderful timeouts, how to put a smile in your heart, gratitude meditation. So if you just go to peggysealfund.com and just go under programs, pick one thing to try, just one, and just begin with that. And as you start feeling better, you will actually crave wanting to do more things, and you'll be able to add more things as that time out becomes a habit for you. Then you'll be ready to add other things. So I don't recommend trying everything at once. It is overwhelming, and guess what? You won't stick to anything. And I don't believe in diets, because diets just deprive your body and your mind in ways that are not productive, and you end up gaining more weight back when you get off a diet. So I really believe in lifestyle changes and really being more mindful about your choices. So it's just one small step. Just start with one. And maybe it's just a walk on the beach tomorrow with Sue Huff.
I'm there, Miss Sue Huff. You know, I always say the word diet. What's the first 3 letters? I don't think we should follow diets.
Great, I love it. I gotta remember that one. I'm writing that down.
but though there's so many important things that we need to do. We were talking earlier about, I think before we came on the webinar, we were talking amongst ourselves how important it was, how so many people are stress eaters, you know, and how you feel about food. And sometimes we got to get people to change that good feeling while we're eating into maybe a good feeling while we're working out, or the food that we're eating. Like try to think of food sometimes as medicine, like that. I'm going to eat this, because I know that's going to make me feel better. You know, it's the way we think and the way we eat. There's so many different things, and I don't have it down pat. I'm still learning as well, but there's so many things we need to learn about. And as you said, we do one at a time. People get overwhelmed. You know, they say, I can't do all this work. That's correct. You can't, but you can do one thing today, and you can do one thing tomorrow, and take it off your plate, and you will get things done, and then you'll feel accomplished, you know. And a lot of people keep journals. You know, journals sometimes works very well for people. Before they go to bed, they write down all the great things they did during that day. You wake up in the morning, instead of saying, I got to wake up, you look at the list of the great things you did the night before. That's something that gets you in the mood. So before you get out of the bed, think of things that are good, and think of things you're going to do for yourself, maybe for yourself first, before you jump out of bed and save the world. Because when you want to save the world, you got to save yourself first. So I'm going to go back to you, Deb, and I'm going to give you the same question. Do I need to read it again for you?
No, that's okay. I agree with what everybody said, and I do totally think that one step at a time is important, especially because we're all on overload right now. And so obviously I would recommend the Power 9 and all of those principles to help people live longer, better, and people can go to the online Power 9 that we have. And I'll make sure that I send that out to you, Jeannie, to share. But I would also say probably during COVID right now, I think it's important that we wake up every morning with a reason. Purpose is so important now more than ever, because it has been thrown off. We've had a huge triggering event. Triggering events usually throw our sense of purpose off balance. And so there's something that Richard Leiter, who's a gentleman who really is an expert on purpose, he talks about grow and give. Think about every day how you can grow and how you can give back. So the grow might be that today I want to eat a little more plants in my diet. I want to feel a little bit better. It might be simple. I might want to get a plant and have it on my desk, whatever. There's so many things we can do to grow for ourselves. Start that journal that you talked about. And then how can I give to someone else today? And so for me right now, I think a big part that how we can collectively help each other is connect with people more often. So much isolation and loneliness in general in this country, and then you throw COVID into the mix, and we know we've got a very, very serious problem. So who is it that you know? It could be a colleague that you haven't been able to see for a while because you're working remotely. It could be a family member. It could be someone down the street that you've always wondered if they have anybody. Find somebody, reach out to them, send them a card. You can send a cartoon. We can do whatever it is that we think might give them a little boost. And as we give them the boost, we actually get one ourselves. So I think, and if we tie it back to the project, if you're looking for a way to kind of manifest that, the purpose workshop that we offer and the virtual Moai, where you're connecting with people, is a good place to start if you really don't know how to do those things.
They are perfect examples of things that we can do to better ourselves and the people around us. And like you say, you do something for someone else, you get that in you, that you feel really, really good, when you're helping somebody else. And it's really important that we take the time to do that, because when we only deal within ourselves and take care of ourselves, we get more stressful because we only see ourselves, But when we look out into the world and we look out our friends and organizations that we belong to and stuff, and we find ways that we can get involved and help, I think it's a healing for us all. And like you said, loneliness is a killer. It's not good for anyone. Granted, there's some people that can't go out, and that's fine, and we got to honor that. Things are changing, but we still have to be careful. We have to, we're not sure about this virus, so we got to love our neighbor. I think that's in the Bible somewhere. I think that's one of the big ones. And that with this virus, there's great ways that we can do that. We can love each other and we can respect each other and go forward. Sharon, tell me something that you feel like you didn't share that you want to tell about your organization or yourself. Like, why did you decide to do this?
Well, I actually didn't know that there is this side of nursing or healthcare.
Okay.
I thought when I was, us nurses or doctors in school, right, we were learning how to fix patients, right? So now, knowing that I could do this, I've always asked Dr. Kapp, my CEO, chairman, please don't put me back to sick care. I will do anything doing what I'm doing now and more. I just don't want to go back to sick care. So I did the chief nursing officer for Landmark Hospital for 3 years and got moved to corporate. And then we developed different projects like the OR here at Landmark. We opened that up, and then we opened the longevity projects, and I just fell in love with it. It's just,
and you can tell you did, because it just zooms out of you. All three of these ladies, you can tell, you can tell where you're at is where you belong. You can always tell by somebody by the enthusiasm that they have, because, I tell people, follow your passion and you'll find your journey. And you can always tell the people that are doing that, because they're happy, because that's where they belong. And that's important in life. Even if people that are listening right now say they're in positions where they're really not happy, little by little, find out about different things like what these ladies have to offer, and find out how you can get more involved and how you can find you're happy too, because finding you're happy, you're going to relax more, as Peggy has shared with us, which is really, really important that we all learn to relax. So this program has been really, really, you have something to say? Did you going to say something, Sharon?
I was going to say, Peggy's, what she said earlier, the timeout. When I first started my wellness journey, I actually put in my calendar every day a part there for exercise. Before now I don't anymore, but in the beginning, that's what I had to do, because I put everything, all activities in my calendar. So I added exercise in there, so I get used to it. That's one thing I have done in the beginning. So it helped me a lot, because
did you exercise first thing in the morning? Because I find we have, that's the key. If you do it in the morning, you do it for yourself. Because if you go through the day and say, I'm going to do it then, and then all of a sudden you're laying in bed watching whatever, and you're like, I don't want to do that.
Exactly. Yeah. First thing.
Exactly. But if you do it early, it's like, for the rest of the day, hey, I did something for me. I did something, and that's like so important that we do take that time to help each other and do that one special thing for ourselves. So I'm very excited. Peggy, you have something to say? You had
I
that
just
little
have
finger.
one more point, because I loved what Deb commented about in terms of, you know, when you wake up in the morning, what's your purpose? But I'd also like people to think about when they wake up in the morning, how do they want to show up? Do they want to show up as I'm kind, I'm respectful, I'm passionate, I'm loving, or, you know, that makes a difference in how you think about yourself. Because again, we tend to jump out of bed and, oh my gosh, what do I have to get done today? And the kids have to go here, and I've got to talk to my staff, and we get overwhelmed by the to-dos. And happiness really comes from these other places. And it's important to start first thing in the morning by accessing that. So
You
I just
know,
wanted to bring that out. And I have to say, Jeannie, you must be the highest immune system in the world, because you give so much to everyone, and I applaud you for what you do. So thank
well,
you.
I learned from wonderful ladies like the three is. So we're all doing things, and hopefully we can all continue to do them and be well and do and reach out to our community, because we are a community of one. And for people who don't know, the Above Board Chamber is in both counties, so we're very blessed. So we are excited that we have each one of you today and you share. We do have some new webinars that are coming up. And first I want to thank Scott Lehman. I don't know if he's still out there with us, but Scott, thank you so much for sharing all the great things that your business is doing, helping us with this virus, because this virus is really driving everybody crazy, because it's all over the place. It's like putting something in a mixer and you forgot what was in there because it became one color. It's crazy. We do have some other webinars coming up that we're very excited about. Next week, September 3rd, it's bringing life to webinars and podcasts and creating a following audience. That is really important that we learn how to do that. So if you're sitting here listening to this webinar and saying, I'd like to be able to do that. We have some great experts. We have 4 experts that are amazing, and they're going to tell you how to do this and how to get your message out about your company. You don't have to do it all the time like me, because I'm type A. You can do one every couple months, but it's really important that people know that your business is still going. So if it's this way or some other way, find ways. But podcasts, they're great. Conrad PR Marketing is going to start their brand new one next week. We're really excited about that. I have to thank Javier. He's on the bottom and he's like frozen there, but he does move around. I call him the Wizard of Oz of the Above Board Chamber's webinars. Conrad PR Marketing helps us with all of our webinars, and Javier is there helping all the time to making sure they go well. Our next webinar after that will be on September 10th. This one I'm real interested in as well, is respecting the trades. A lot of people are looking for jobs, looking to change their jobs, want to know where they belong. Should I go to college and take some more classes? Shall I go here? What do I need to do? Well, I've been working with a bunch of our college that do trades in Lee and Cuyahoga County, and they are amazing. And that is going to be December 10th. Do you know, I spoke to one of the colleges, and they told me that, what did they say? 90+% of the people that go to their 2-year college, okay, 2-year college, graduate. And not only do they graduate, the first day of their jobs, they start at $60,000 a year. Sometimes we're thinking that we have to do things a different way, or we have to stay where we are at the moment. There are so many opportunities for trades out there, and they can't find enough people. Sharon probably could tell you, even with nursing, there's a lot of hospitals basically that will, if you go in there and you talk to them about nursing school and stuff, a lot of them give you opportunities. Well, they will help you as well if you give so much time with them for a while and work for that particular hospital and stuff. Find out those things. Find out your passion. Find out what you do that will make you smile like these ladies are smiling right now. And go explore it. You're not too old. You're not too poor. You're not too tired. You're not too anything. And I don't want to hear you're too skinny, you're too fat, you're too this, you're this. We're not going to be those things anymore. We're going to be our best. So don't stay where you don't belong. Find out how you can make yourself better. Get in touch with these ladies and find out how your business, how you as an individual can be the best you can be. Because when you're your best, you're going to give your best, and that's important. I'm going to remind everybody today, after this program's over, a little while later, I will be sending an email out for the program, so you may watch it again and find out some of these hints that were amazing, because each one of these ladies gave amazing information. I want to thank Scott again, which we did before. I want to thank each one of you ladies. You made this webinar really important and really good, so thank you so much. Somebody just wrote, thank you, I needed this today. So that's pretty good. I think we all needed this. So as I say, the Above Board Chamber meetings, which we hope will go back soon live in Lee and Cuyahoga County, when God puts us into this world, he gives us gifts, but they're not gifts until we give them away. So I want to thank you for everyone for giving them away. Please keep in your prayers the people that were hit by the hurricanes. Whoever was been on my Facebook for the last 2 days, know we've been praying like crazy. And I have to say, our prayers did some good stuff, because they didn't get the 30-foot waves or the 20-foot surges or anything like that. So put God first, put prayers out there, and thank you for being part of the Above Board Chamber today and for joining us all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.